do. We're good. Hi, welcome all to the City Council meeting of the City of San Juan Bautista, Tuesday, August 18th, 2026. It is 5:04. I am calling the meeting to order now. The Pledge of Allegiance, Councilmember Morris Lopez, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda?
Here.
Councilmember Frios?
Here.
Councilmember Morris Lopez?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia? And Mayor Jordan?
Here. Thank you. We are going into closed session in a moment. The closed session items are a conference with legal counsel on existing litigation, Roscoe versus City of San Juan Bautista et al., California Government Code Section 54956.9D1, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 or 3 of subdivision D of section 54956.9E2, one case, and public employee performance evaluation, California Government Code Section 54956.7B1, City Attorney. Do we have any public comment on items only on closed session?
Seeing no hands raised on Zoom and nobody present in chambers, Madam Mayor?
Thank you. We're going to close session. We will see you all at 6 p.m.-ish.
Call me anytime. Okay. Listen.
I say, recording on city attorney, what's phone.
I don't know. Yes, we could use have the. Yes, yeah. How are you? Yeah. That's my kind of. So. Give me does my hair look good? What do you think? Live on YouTube. That's new. We're getting official now. Live on YouTube. Whenever you're ready.
Hi, welcome all to the City Council, the regular City Council meeting of the City of San Juan Bautista, Tuesday, August 18th, 2026. It is now 6:02. We are out of closed session. Who is interrupting me? That is the weirdest thing ever.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes. Good to go, yes.
Attorney Giffen, will you please take us out of closed session?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council and public. The City Council met in closed session on items 2A, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Orozco versus City of San Juan Bautista et al., California Government Code Section 54956.9D1. City Council heard from the city attorney, and there's nothing to report out on that matter. Item 2A, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 or 3 of subdivision D of section 54956.9E2. One case, the city council heard from the city attorney and gave direction on that matter. And item 2C, public employee performance evaluation, California Government Code Section 54956.7B1, the city attorney, that matter has been continued to later in the meeting. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. We're going to start with proclamations. Councilmember Morris Lopez, National Health Center Week. Do we have anybody accepting this proclamation? Hi, welcome. Come on up. Can,
Okay,
yeah, I was going to ask if the light goes on, but go ahead, you start.
okay. National Health Center Week 2026. Whereas for more than 60 years, community health centers have provided high-quality, affordable, comprehensive primary and preventative health care to communities with limited access, serving as a vital part of our nation's healthcare system. And whereas community health centers comprise the nation's largest primary care network, serving millions of Americans in rural, suburban, frontier, island, mountain, and urban communities, including many areas where they are the only source of primary care, and whereas community health centers improve health outcomes by expanding access in primary care, chronic disease management, cancer screenings, and integrated services, including nutrition, oral health, vision, behavioral health, and pharmacy services. And whereas community health centers support hundreds of thousands of jobs nationwide and bring together physicians, dentists, behavioral health professionals, and other providers and multidisciplinary teams dedicated to treating the whole person. And whereas community health centers are on the front lines of emerging healthcare needs, serving veterans, addressing the opioid epidemic, responding to public health threats and natural disasters, and expanding access through mobile clinics, including the services provided locally by the San Benito Health Foundation. And whereas National Health Center Week 2026 themed Building Innovative Care Where It Matters Most provides an opportunity to recognize community health centers nationwide and celebrate the 51-year legacy of San Benito Health Foundation and its dedicated staff, board members, patients, and its vital role in providing innovative, accessible, and patient-centered care throughout San Benito County. Now, therefore, Mayor Jordan, on behalf of the San Juan Bautista City Council, do hereby proclaim August the 2nd through the 8th of 2026 as National Health Center Week and encourage our community to recognize and celebrate San Benito Health Foundation and the vital partnership between community health centers and the communities they serve.
Can you make sure that the microphone is on, please? Thank you. And please feel free to say something.
Anyway, I'm just happy that we made it because we came before the rivers today. So I just want to thank you all that you have always loved us and the good things in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anybody receiving the proclamation for National Breastfeeding Month? Come on back, come on down. What? I didn't mean to. Want to read it? Thank you. National Breastfeeding Month 2026. Whereas breastfeeding plays an important role in supporting the health and well-being of infants, children's, mothers, and family, and provides essential nutrition that adapts to meet the changing needs of a growing child. And whereas breastfeeding is associated with important health benefits for both infants and mothers and can help establish a strong foundation for lifelong health and wellness. And whereas breastfeeding can strengthen the bond between the parent and the child while providing comfort, nourishment, and connection during a critical period of growth and development. And whereas access to accurate information, quality of healthcare, supportive workplaces, and welcoming communities can help families make informed decisions and achieve their individual breastfeeding goals. And whereas employers who provide reasonable accommodations and lactation support help create healthy, family-friendly workplaces and enables employees to successfully balance work and family responsibilities. And whereas breastfeeding also provides a safe and readily available source of nutrition during emergencies and national disasters when access to clean water, electricity, or other resources may be limited. And whereas National Breastfeeding Month is observed each August to raise awareness of the importance of breastfeeding support and to encourage communities, healthcare providers, employer policymakers, and families to work together to reduce barriers and promote equitable access to breastfeeding resources. And whereas the city of San Juan Bautista recognizes the importance of supporting parents, families in creating a healthier start for children and fostering a community in which all families are respected and supported in their infant feeding choices. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Jordan, on behalf of San Juan Bautista City Council, do hereby recognize August 2026 as National Breastfeeding Month and encourage residents, businesses, healthcare providers, and community organizations to support breastfeeding families and promote environments that help parents and children thrive. Thank you. Thank you. Ariel or Roy, if you can just check that. Thank you. Public comment. Do we have any public comment on items that are not on the agenda? Hey, hang on hang on 1 second. Our city clerk will call up anybody who has putting, it is on, but it just doesn't sound like it's working. So can you just hang out when our city clerk? It is, it's not working. It's not working correctly.
Test.
Now it is. Okay, city clerk, public comment.
Beth Welch, you have 3 minutes, followed by Michael Ponce.
Thank you. Hi, welcome.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, Mayor and members of City Council. My name is Beth Welch, and I'm a resident and business owner here in San Juan Bautista. I'm here tonight because I've experienced firsthand and repeatedly a serious pattern of unresponsiveness and incompetence among the city staff, and I believe it's time the council be made aware. First, in June 2025, my son was injured and suffered a concussion while participating in the Junior Giants program. In September 2025, I contacted Roy Morales about the city's insurance to file a secondary claim for expenses my insurance did not fully cover. He forwarded me to Liz Soto, who confirmed the insurance and provided me an insurance certificate that I sent to the medical providers. I spent 9 months following up with the city to get the additional information needed, dozens of emails to both Liz and Roy, and even a personal visit to City Hall, all ignored. It wasn't until June of 2026, when the matter was escalated to the city manager, that I was given the correct claim instructions. Although by then I was outside the eligible timeline, I still submitted the claim, and it has now been 3 additional months. It is still unresolved. Secondly, my business license was recently delayed over a month. I submitted my application along with my tax return, made my payment on time in June in person. The check was cashed. After a month of not receiving my renewal in the mail, I called the city council. I called the city hall and learned from Manuel and Ariel that a $77 balance was owed due to a miscalculation by Carmen the month prior. So the application was never processed. No idea where it sat for weeks. Had I not called City Hall, I have no idea how much longer this would have gone unprocessed. These are separate incidents, but they point to the same pattern. City staff failing to follow through on basic responsibilities, such as arithmetic and communication, responding to emails, with the burden falling on residents and business owners to catch the errors and push for a resolution. Residents and business owners in San Juan deserve responsiveness, accountability, and basic competence from the people paid to serve them. As a business owner, I would never tolerate this pattern of behavior from my own employees. I don't see why the council should tolerate it from the cities. I'm asking the council to seriously review current staffing, training, and internal processes, because if this has happened to me now twice recently, I must assume it's happening to others as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Michael Ponce.
Hi, welcome.
Hello. This November, we will elect 3 members to this council. I am personally looking for change on the council. Integrity. Let me say that again. Integrity in a council person should be of the utmost importance. I am dealing with an issue with Mayor Jordan and a family member squatting and trespassing on private property on land that my family owns. They are parking vehicles and scattered debris on this private property with no written permission. They have been asked to remove all vehicles and debris multiple times, but have blatantly refused. A fence has been removed twice and cut down. Trespassing and squatting is a crime. Mayor Jordan apparently has delusional thoughts that somehow she has the right to squat and trespass on this private property. Does Mayor Jordan have some kind of immunity that the residents of San Juan Bautista don't know about? All dealings with real estate must be in writing. Mayor Jordan needs to do the right thing and respect the property owner's wishes. Remove all the vehicles and debris now. Integrity. Remember what that means. The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. That is what we should have in all members of the council. Come November, vote integrity. I suggest a vote of no confidence for Mayor Jordan in November. No on Jordan in November election. Vote integrity. And since I have a little bit of time, I just want to say that I'm not proud to have to be up here and state what I just stated. I've been working diligently on this issue. County Records Office, County Assessor's Office, the City of San Juan Bautista, the Sheriff's Department. I've spoken to multiple lawyers, the district attorney. This is a simple matter. I mean, we're playing these high school games. I put the fence up, they take it down. I put the fence up, they take it down. This is high school stuff, man. Be responsible adults. Respect somebody's property. I don't know what's so special about our property that Mayor Jordan wants to park on it. I need this resolved. I'm informed that a citation will be issued, or an administrative citation will be issued to the property owner, which is our family, for somebody else's vehicles. So I'm gonna have to deal with that process, and the city's gonna get involved. I'm wasting city's precious time and money. I'm not proud of that. I spent 2 hours in a meeting with city engineer and code enforcement the other day. What a waste of public funds. Simple matter. Take care of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris Perez, you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council.
Hi, welcome.
My name is Chris Perez, and I am the son-in-law of Mr. and Mrs. Castle, who live at 701 Second Street. I'm here tonight regarding the ongoing fence dispute involving their property and, more importantly, what appears to be inconsistent enforcement of the city's fence requirements. My in-laws have been dealing with this issue for some time. During that process, they believe they have been treated unfairly and subjected to a level of enforcement that does not appear to be applied equally to other properties or residents of this town. We believe that the city has chosen to take action in this discriminatory fashion out of fear of litigation by the complaining party, which has a history of such actions elsewhere. The potential financial consequences are extraordinary. My in-laws have been advised that they could face penalties totaling more than $700,000 concerning this fence. That is especially troubling because we have documentation concerning the removal of the hedge and the construction of the fence, for which permission was granted. We are prepared to provide that documentation to the city as part of the record. But tonight, I also want to address the issue of consistent enforcement. It appears that the city is actually discriminating against an elderly resident with Tourette syndrome. Since January 1st, we have notified the city on at least 3 or 4 occasions about what appeared to be other fence violations citywide. One example involves a city-owned and maintained property known as the city yard. We have repeatedly brought to the city's attention without any action by the city. A second example is the property at the corner of First and North. The fence there appears to be nearly 7 feet tall, and portions of it appear to extend beyond property line and obstructs the neighboring driveway. It was also reconstructed well after this issue at hand here. These are not isolated examples. We have documentation concerning more than 50 properties that we believe raise similar questions regarding compliance with the city's fence requirements. Yet my family continues to be subjected to this drastically discriminatory action. So tonight, I'm not asking the council to reconsider the castle's case and do the right thing. More simply stated, apply the same standards consistently. If the city's position is that the castle's fence violates city requirements, the comparable violation should be investigated and addressed using the same standards. I'm therefore formally asking the council to refer this matter to the appropriate city staff for another review and to determine whether the city's fence requirements are being enforced consistently. I'm also asking that the castles receive written response explaining the results of that review and what action, if the city intends to take regarding the reported violations. This family is facing potential penalties exceeding $700,000. Under those circumstances, I believe it is entirely reasonable for them and for the public to expect the city's rules to be applied fairly, consistently, and equally. Thank you.
Thank you.
Casey Anderson, you have 3 minutes.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you. As she said, my name is Casey. I've been a San Juan resident for only a year and a half, but I've loved my time here. I'm here tonight because just yesterday I noticed that flock cameras have been installed in Alameda and 156. I've seen the headlines about these cameras, but I hadn't looked into it until I saw them here in our town. And in the last 24 hours, what I found is really concerning. The flock cameras are an automated system operated by a private for-profit company. Their only motivation is to make money. They are not incentivized to do what is best in our interest or those of our neighbors. Flock offers a subscription service to police forces, but the data is also available to ICE and federal agents. With little restriction, the service is marketed to make us safer, but 99% of what they record is innocent civilians going about their day. I've never felt unsafe in San Juan. I feel unsafe in a mass surveillance state. Instead of making us safer across the country, this data has been used to criminalize women seeking medical care, to stalk former romantic partners of police officers. And even when used for the intended purposes, the AI gets things wrong. Children get hauled out of cars and arrested because Flock said that a SUV was actually a motorcycle that they were searching for. And because Flock said so is not a good reason to traumatize people, and we shouldn't let that happen here. Their track record demonstrates they can't secure our data. There isn't transparency, whether this council approved to put Flock up or it is from the San Benito County. I could find no record of a audit or public traceability or documentation on how long these records would exist and what they are used for. I'm asking the council here to protect our community, to protect our privacy, to protect our constitutional rights. The city of Santa Cruz has already taken down these cameras, and they're calling for other cities in the area to do so. I hope you follow a similar line and investigate this and pursue this and question why are these here and are they making us safer? Thank you.
Thank you.
Megan Ringe, you have 3 minutes.
Hi, all. Megan Range. I am the new Government Relations Director for PG&E. I just want to introduce myself. I've only been here 4 months now. You will all get emails from me, so you can connect a name with a face. You can call me about questions. I've been in touch with staff. They know how to reach me. I just wanted to make sure you knew I existed, and I'm around if you have any questions. That is all. Have a
Thanks,
great
Megan.
evening.
Welcome.
No other speaker cards received, Madam Mayor, and seeing no hands raised on Zoom.
Thank you. Okay, we now have a public hearing, Recology Annual Adjustment and Maximum Allowable Solid Waste Collection Rates. Catherine Ramirez. Hi, Catherine Ramirez. Welcome. Take it away.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. I'm Catherine Ramirez, staff analyst with the County of San Benito's Integrated Waste Management. This public hearing is being held in accordance with Proposition 218 regarding the proposed solid waste service rates. The exclusive solid waste franchise agreement, specifically Article 9 of Attachment E, the contractor's compensation and rate setting, establishes the contractual process for calculating the annual solid waste service rates. Based on that process, the proposed increase for this year is approximately 0.5% overall. Notice of the proposal rates and Proposition 218 protest process was provided to affected customers in accordance with the applicable requirements. The purpose of this evening's hearing is to receive public comments, announce the results of the written protest process, and if a majority protest has not been received, consider adoption of the proposed rates. At this time, I recommend that the mayor open the public hearing to receive public testimony on the proposed rates.
Thank you. First, we're going to council member questions. Councilmember Friels.
No, I'm a little confused though, but because I see that Ariel is our planning manager. I thought she'd be speaking as staff, but we're having somebody who's works for Recology speaking.
Yeah, to tell us what was going on with the rate
Oh, okay.
increase.
I figured our staff would give us that rundown. No, I have nothing to say right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
No questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. I've gone out of order this whole entire time.
It's okay.
Is yours supposed to be sitting over there? I
is
got
good.
confused. Councilmember Aranda.
Yeah, I have a question to staff here or Catherine. After going through the report, I know it mentioned that that the maximum increase would be 5%, and that we could propose the increase to whatever. So can I get some information as to why we're starting with the 5%, like the max?
0.5.
0.5, I'm sorry. I think I'm reading that wrong then. And I think I'm sorry. I think I might have, for whatever reason, I thought we had it at 5%.
I do. So the annual adjustment has to follow a methodology established within the franchise agreement. And the franchise hauler has to provide supporting documentation. And the requested adjustment is reviewed to ensure that it's compliance with the agreement, and it can only pay for services that are provided.
Got it. Okay. Other than that, I mean, that was pretty much my only question, was just to kind of figure out the pricing structure.
Got it. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia.
No question. Thank you.
Thank you. I just had one question, and it was the timing of it. The rate increase is effective July 1, but we're having a public hearing on August 18th for an increase that might or might not have happened.
First, can I clarify that I'm with the County of San Benito, not Recology, and we are the regional agency, and I'm here on behalf also of you all as part of the regional agency.
Thank you.
So this was originally scheduled for June and was continued to August for all of the jurisdictions due to everybody going dark in July. What happened was legal counsel notified staff that additional noticing was required, which caused the continuance.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, I would like to now open it for public comment. Open the public hearing. Sorry.
Madam Mayor, no speaker cards received, and seeing no hands raised on Zoom. I do, however, did receive a public comment via email.
Okay. Okay.
Dear Mayor Jordan and council members, we are property owners in San Juan for the past 13 years, and while we live in San Juan Bautista only half the year, we pay full-time rates. This year, we have been in San Juan for 3 weeks in January and 3 weeks in May, and we feel strong that the city needs to be mindful of seniors on fixed incomes and not change us for a service that we are not using. Our waste bills for 6 weeks of residency this year is too high. We believe that there should be a fair reduced rate for part-time residents, a reduced rate for seniors who have only 1 or 2 family members. The timeline is too far out. No one knows what the needed rates are for 2031. So agreeing to pay what might be too much is not fair to anyone. We understand that you may need to plan far out, but we know now that their income isn't going to increase 5% a year. We ask that you give consideration to a segment of our population that has been overlooked and implement a reduced rate for part-time residents, or perhaps change by the week and not the month. Ideally, we should be able to turn services on and off when we leave to return from our home in San Diego. Thank you for your consideration, Lenora and John Ursula.
Thank you. No other public comment? Thank you. Closing the public hearing. Back to council comments. Sorry, Councilmember Aranda.
No worries. No questions, comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Frails.
Yeah, I was looking at the signatures on the back on when did we go into contract? Seems like it was longer.
With Recology, it was in 2018.
Okay. And
It's
then
a 10-year contract.
it's a 10-year contract. Okay. Oh. And who negotiated that?
Believe the county and the two cities with Recology. I wasn't working for the county at the time.
Yeah, I wasn't on the council at the time.
I wasn't with Recology at that point in time, but there was a consultant, an outside consultant who developed that franchise agreement. And then it was worked on with the local county staff. And then it went to the two city councils and the county board for vote. But again, that was back in 2018.
2018, yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was just curious why we just negotiate on our own, and why do we have to have a consultant for the next round in 2028?
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
I just wanted to comment because I'm looking at the documents further just to kind of, I think Councilmember Aranda was not wrong in seeing a 5%. And it had to do with page 4, fiscal impact. It says for fiscal year 2026-27, the proposed maximum allowable rates reflect an average increase of approximately 0.5% across service categories. That's for all the different types of waste they collect. The proposed multi-year maximum rate schedule would allow annual maximum rate adjustments of up to 5% in subsequent years. So that you're correct in saying that 5%, which seems like a large amount. Just that the public understands that, as Councilmember Friels just pointed out, this contract was drafted and written and approved way before we were on this council. And we have no control over the increase. We were hoping that we'd get more rejection of this. With our current population, we needed, I think, an estimate of about 400 rejections, signatures. Is that correct?
296.
296. So my word of advice, and I say this humbly, is look at your inserts in the mail. That's your opportunity to weigh in, because at this point, it really is too late.
If I may, Councilmember Morris Lopez, your community was sent two notices.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia.
I don't have any questions or comments. Thank you.
Thank you. I do not as well. Thank you so much. And we did get a number of protests.
That's correct, Madam Mayor. We received 18.
Thank you. So there was objection to it. We didn't have the full
296, and this was mailed out in, let me give you some dates and data. On May 1st of 2026 to 588 of your residents. And then in June 17th, again, it was mailed out, and it was mailed out to 593.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Connections.
That was this.
There's only 500 sets of garbage cans in this town?
Homeowners.
Homeowners. So business owners can't reject or can't,
Did you send it out to business? Recology had sent this out on your behalf. Did we send it out to businesses as well?
No, we only sent it out to the property owners.
Oh, to property.
property owners, not the actual individual customers.
That was the first round. The first round
Yeah.
was sent out to customers, and then our council advised us that it needed to be sent out to property owners, and therefore the increase in the amount from the first to the second.
Okay,
Interesting.
didn't make sense, but thank you.
Thank you. Having no further comments, I'd like to have a motion to approve a resolution adopting the annual adjustments and establishing the maximum allowable solid waste collection rates as set forth in the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Councilmember Aranda, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Frios,
No,
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. Next up is the consent agenda. We have 9 items on the consent agenda. Would any members of the council wish to pull anything? Councilmember Aranda.
No items pulled.
Thank you. Councilmember Friels.
I pull D, please. Delta.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia.
Nothing to pull. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any members from the public to pull any? I'm sorry, can you please come to the podium?
I got 3 minutes. D and M.
Madam Mayor, if I may,
Please.
the minutes are being tabled because they were not included in the packet.
Thank you very much. We are tabling J, K, L, and M. Thank you. May I have a motion to, I'm sorry, do we have any other folks who wish to pull?
Seeing no hands raised or anybody coming up to the podium, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve A, B, C, E, F, G, H, and I?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia, seconded by Councilmember Friels. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Frios.
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Councilmember Friels, you get to go first for item 6D, approve the on-call consultant list of 14 consultants for environmental review and planning consulting services.
Okay, thank you. I just have 2 questions. Do we currently have 14, I think I know the answer to this, but do we currently have 14 consulting firms? Are we currently using 14 consulting firms? For this, on this specific subject, yes. For environmental review and planning consulting. We've added.
Apologies, I didn't have a mic in front of me. So your question, and I'm going to pick on Ariel here, just so we're clear,
Okay.
because I don't want to
Yeah.
flub it up cameras and we're on YouTube. The question was, do we currently have 14 planning consultants that we use?
Yes.
Yes. No is the answer, but I'm going to let Ariel add some quality to that.
Okay.
Yes, so So one of the things in looking at permit streamlining is looking at the RFP process. When you do a request for proposal, it can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months just between putting together an individual proposal, then putting it out for 30 days and evaluating the proposals, and then bringing it to City Council for award along with the contract. And so part of doing this request for qualifications and developing an on-call list was if we were needing an EIR for a project that would come in, it would save several months worth of time and staff time by having consultants we can call on. So what we would do is an individual project would come in, we send out that scope, we give them 2 weeks, they provide proposals. You have to do the lowest qualified proposal, and then we would put together a contract. We're not adding any budget for this. It would be if whatever that project cost is and that contract cost is, we would then come back with a budget amendment. And it's basically, and the way it's done is applicant would deposit the full amount of that budget. And that would, and then it's basically a drawdown to cover the costs of a potentially a mitigated net deck. There's not currently a project needed. It's just a list to draw from in order to reduce the amount of timeline an applicant is waiting to then begin work.
Okay, thank you. That's, I somewhat figured that because I do understand it's becoming more and more difficult to keep up with what's been coming down from Sacramento. So that makes sense. To see this many in consultants, it's probably a shock to a lot of people. And I just wanted to kind of bring that out that that's a lot of people.
We're not doing, what we're doing is they're just on a list. And so, you know, let's say a project comes in and we're going to need a mitigated neck deck. We would send it out. A lot of times, even having about this many number, you might only get 2 people that respond. People are busy. They're not going to respond to this individual project. And so it's good to have just a good number in there just to make sure that you're always getting a competitive process, you know, for the applicant as well as for the city. If we were to, and we can draw upon it too, if we were to need those services. So.
No, that's, thank you. My second question, Four Leaf. Four Leaf has given this community so much grief over, I don't know how many years, and I'm still baffled that Four Leaf is even thought about on this list. I thought we were finished with them. It's like, here comes the tomatoes again, right? Because I know people are going to come to me and say, why are we still dealing with Four Leaf?
That's an excellent question. So we had an entire panel that reviewed all the proposals against criteria. And so the proposals that were reviewed, they all scored to a level that recommended. However, it's through the council to approve what consultants you want on this on-call list. We just had a panel that reviewed and they are qualified. Whether or not you approve everyone on that list is up to your discretion.
And we do that. That's what we're going to do here. Now we can pull somebody off of this.
You absolutely can. That's up to your discretion.
Okay, good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for that. We had one other, Michael Ponce.
Yes.
Thank you. Hi, welcome.
Hi. Yeah, I just
Please
wanna
state
kinda-
your name for the record.
Michael Ponce. 14 consultants. Okay. Do we not have the expertise to do the work that these consultants are going to be asked to do? It was my understanding that we hired some very knowledgeable staff at some very impressive wages to help streamline the process, to make it quicker, to make it better. During the budget talk, this council was happy to how can I say, this council was happy to release the use of four-leaf, which is the first one on the list. They were happy, oh, we're never gonna have to use four-leaf again. But I said, no, if you read the budget, there's a line in there said that at times we would have to use 4-leaf, but the council was, no, we're done with them. We're never gonna have them. And lo and behold, on this list, they're the first one on the list. And then we got BKF Engineers, which is the old M&S, which I believe is still currently working for the city. So why are they on here as a consultant if they're already working for the city? I know that there's no cost associated with this right now until we use them. But I was just hoping that our current staff that we hired, that we are dealing with as part of the budget, we got a $750,000. We used $750,000 to balance the budget basically on the credit card. We borrowed from 3 funds to balance our budget. I believe part of that is we're too top heavy. No disrespect to the people we have working for. I know they're hardworking. I've dealt with them. They're hardworking people. They're knowledgeable, but can we afford them? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, may I have a motion to approve a resolution? Sorry, go ahead.
Shouldn't there be, this is an action item, right, Liz? Shouldn't there be public comment on this? It's an action item.
Which was pulled. It was on the consent calendar and it was pulled. Yeah.
But it's still an action item, right? So shouldn't have the public's response?
No, the person that wanted to speak pulled it and he spoke already and provided his public comment.
Okay. I'm hoping, I'm okay with the using consultants. I understand the complexity of day-to-day, working in the state and how many how much new laws and legislation comes down. But I personally don't want to see 4-leaf on this list because of how much grief they created this community.
Do you want to have that in the motion?
Sure. I move to pass this action item, which would be approve on-call consultants, list of 13 consultants for, do we want to use 13? For environmental review and planning, negating 4-leaf.
Thank you. So there's a motion on the table to approve a resolution approving 13 consultants for inclusion on the city's on-call environmental review and planning consulting services list for 3-term beginning August 18th, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2029, and authorizing the city manager to execute on-call professional services agreements for the approved term. And it would be the 13 consultants minus 4-leaf Inc. How do you
have a motion on the table? Unless there's no, we have a motion on the table unless there's a.
So we need a second and then we can ask for a discussion.
Is your question having to do with the motion that was just?
Are we allowed, and I agree with you wholeheartedly on the sentiment, are we opening ourselves up to any reprisal from a business as a public entity refusing to do business with them? No? Okay, then I don't care. Continue.
Okay. Do I have a first?
I'll second it. Is that what we want?
No, I need a first. Oh,
No.
Scott, I'm sorry. Councilmember Friels made the motion. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Councilmember Friels, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda?
Can I ask a question before I move it? Sorry.
For the motion already.
Then, well, either way, then I will, yes.
Councilmember Friels?
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia?
Yes.
Mayor Jordan?
Yes.
Motion passed as amended.
Thank you. Item 7, authorization for design and construction of downtown shared trash recycling and organics enclosure on Mariposa. Our planning manager, Ariel Goodspeed.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Ariel Goodspeed, Planning Manager for the city. And tonight's item is really an authorization to move forward with the design and construction process of a shared trash enclosure, recycling organics on Mariposa Street. And this is to address a longstanding issue in the downtown area where some businesses are required to have refuse service, but due to our historic downtown and the development pattern, they are landlocked and don't have access in order to be able to put them outside of the right of way. So if you could go to the next slide. So just a little bit to kind of frame some of our ordinances is 54240, and this basically says that businesses must subscribe to a refuse service unless they have gone through an exemption process. 54105 is essentially refuse containers may not be placed in public right-of-ways. And again, due to the unique nature of our downtown, we have properties that are landlocked, and so there is nowhere but the public right-of-way in order to put their refuse containers. And then 54300 just basically designates that the city manager may designate receptacle locations. However, due to the nature of this item, it really needed to be brought to city council for discussion and for determination on moving this forward and solving one of the issues that has been communicated to staff downtown. If you want to go to the next slide. So I just want to introduce SB 1383. You've heard it before. It's come on some different agenda items, but essentially it's a state requirement that is really an emphasis on separating organic waste and reducing the amount of material that's going to landfills. It's something we're required, every jurisdiction is required to comply with. So this is essentially being consistent with our state requirements. The city currently has this rural exemption, and so that right now is remaining in place. But part of the job as a city is to make sure that we're addressing these issues of adequate trash recycling, organic collection, infrastructure. Again, infrastructure is one of the things we need to look at. So for some of these businesses, there's a physical limitation on being able to put their containers. It had been brought to staff's attention that previous city managers may have just approved the location, but it was never formalized. And so we need to look at that. Again, there's also an issue of possible, the reason why it's not generally allowed in the public right of way is because you don't want to look at blight. And so staff really took this issue and looked at, if you want to go to the next slide. So we had planning, we had recology, we had integrated waste, we had engineering, and we also had public works have a meeting and do a site visit. And we walked the entire downtown looking at possible locations. So one of the things was we didn't want it on 3rd Street, but across cross streets, looking at where potential sites are, considering all of the different different features. And so there's 3 sites that we looked at analyzing Mariposa Street, Washington Street, and Polk Street. And there was several practical considerations, really looking at accessibility, pedestrian impacts, services for ecology, being able to build the containers, and Recology can be able to have adequate access onto them, site constraints, grading issues, and just other site locations. And again, these were just staff's a collective look at it. We can go and look further if you would like, but based on all of those different agencies and departments, these were the sites that we looked at considering. If you want to go to the next slide. After reviewing these, Mariposa was considered to have some advantages over Washington and Polk. There is an existing area along Polk that does not have sidewalks currently, and so you wouldn't be impeding, if built correctly, pedestrian traffic. On some of the other locations, you have sidewalks, so you're either kind of building out on the street, removing parking, and then you'd be like walking through, or you'd have to come up with, you'd have to work with private property owners to then put it onto private property. And so those created some barriers to being able to getting this done a little bit quicker. I have an echo. So Mariposa represented the best operational fit, considering all of those factors. This photograph, if you want to go to the next slide. This is not an all-inclusive photograph, but just kind of to orient you to the streets that I know you're all very familiar with, and a general vicinity of where we're looking. The enclosure would be built. There's historical guidelines for trash enclosures, so it would go through the historic design review process and would meet all those requirements. And so the final layout, screening, and appearance has not yet been determined. So this is really just developing the approval for us to begin selecting a location where we begin the full outreach. We put together a full design and going through the required review process. And if you go to the next slide, I just really want to talk about the funding sources. So the grant, the SB 1383 grant funds, has an expiration of November 1st. So that was part of bringing this at this time window and selecting a location and getting started, is to be able, that's $60,000 that we can utilize for this. Additionally, we have about 86,000, and we're consistently collecting, and that's a combination of franchise fee revenues, our AB 939, and the litter abatement. But those are essentially they're non-general fund, and they can only be used for activities such as this. And so you're not using any general funds, and you're only using funding sources that have to be used for purposes such as this. So might as well take advantage and work on it. So the authorization is for 100,000, and for construction costs, our building official was able to give me a quote of maybe about 20,000, looking at the design features. We also would need to get a site map put together, and that design put together. We would need to do, again, a historic design review, and then there would be outreach. And so this provided an estimate of more than what we think we'll use, but just it gave a buffer so we could begin work, and we wouldn't have to necessarily come back in a month, or a couple months to request additional funding. but to get this process going. If you want to go to the next slide. So this just lays out what the next steps are. So what we're doing is we're going to begin outreach, talk with the business owners, those property owners along this location in the downtown in general. And then we would go through historic design review application process. And so then that would also have outreach, getting commission approval, clearance with CEQA. Every project you do requires CEQA. And then we would begin construction. If you want to go to the next slide. So the recommendation tonight is to select a location. Staff recommended Mariposa Street. Authorize us to begin outreach, reviews, permits, and approvals. Fund up to 100,000. And again, this is from grants and our franchise fees. And then execute the design and construction contracts. And I just want to say thank you for your consideration, and I look forward to any comments or questions you may have.
Thank you. Councilmember Aranda.
Yes, I have a few questions. So just again, just to confirm for the public's sake, the $100,000 is an estimate, and we're only requesting this because of funding sources that we can request and have that pay for this. So the city's not on the hook for.
Absolutely. So by having collection services, we get a fee. That fee comes to the city, but that money that we receive can only be used for very specific purposes. It can't necessarily be used for general fund services. And so you have to come up with projects to use those funds for, and this is a potential project that we can use. The grant money can be used for organics and recycling services. So it can essentially cover 2/3. So if you think of a trash enclosure, you have 3 bins. And so essentially 2/3 of it can be covered by grant services, if that helps break it down.
Perfect. And then how many businesses will actually use this enclosure? So, have we talked to all the businesses, and are they okay? And have they all agreed to say, yeah, I like this idea. We're all going to put our bins in this one location, even if I'm on the other side of the downtown district?
That's part of the authorization tonight, is to really do an outreach campaign. But we need to kind of narrow down where we're doing that campaign. And we wanted to kind of bring it before city council before we went too far with this.
Got it. And then, sorry, I've got a list of questions. And who's paying for the ongoing maintenance? So like this, so once we build this thing, it's working, someone graffitis it, oil spills out into it, it gets nasty, it's an eyesore now, it's a pain in the butt. Who's paying for that?
That's excellent. So we would need to, part of the outreach is we would need to develop a program as part of this. And so that's part of the conversation that we need to have, and then we need to work on developing. As far as similar to the size, we need to get some of that feedback. The estimate provided was approximately could serve, if we did 4 containers, but that's going to be part of the conversation, is starting to come up with some of that design and then presenting it. Okay, well, we don't want something so large. We wanted to keep it, this size, or there's really only maybe 6, properties that are affected. And so looking at that, there had been discussion about potentially doing multiple trash enclosures, and not just one in one location, but eventually, that was part of our iterative discussion. but the goal was just to get this started and utilize that 60,000 before
It
it's
expires.
up. Um, and so that was kind of the goal, was to use this grant funding, before it's no longer, available. And then again, every year we're collecting, franchise fees. So, there's future, potential to do additional enclosures.
Got
But
it.
just getting us started on the first one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I was just worried about, how many businesses are there? How big is this thing going to be if there's all these trash cans and in one area? And then that leads me to my next question is, I know, Mariposa is a, great street and all, but I feel like that is like the center point of our town. And so, making sure there's an emphasis on the design, like you mentioned, I'm sure the planning commission will look at it, but that it looks historic, it looks like it belongs there. But also one thing to consider is that area is highly used for festivals, downtown street festivals. So I know that Integrated Waste uses that area and they can get a little picky about, you know, what's being put there. And so I want to make sure that they're involved and, we have all that planned out and we thought about that for future events and whatnot.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And so that's, part of why when we, walked in downtown, we made sure to include Recology, because, they help with all our street festivals and, putting their receptacles and the design and, some of those needs. And so it was kind of vital to that initial discussion. And again, this is going to be an ongoing, as we develop the design.
Perfect. Other than that, those are all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Great presentation.
Councilmember Friels.
Thank you. Thank you for this. This has definitely been needed for quite some time. A while back ago, things got a little ugly because a lot of the downtown merchants got locked out, where they normally put their garbage cans in the rears of the buildings. The property owners were concerned about the heavy equipment going back there. So then a lot of the trash service came out onto the street, code enforcement got involved, and it got ugly. So this is good that it's come. The photo you showed on Mariposa, is that right there next to the clock shop? Is that what we're thinking?
It's a rough estimate. There's a pretty long, good length of street. That photo was kind of a close-up photo. It might have been better to take like an angled, photo. So I apologize, but, the location again is not 100% exact. I was just trying to demonstrate the general vicinity that we would go start having those conversations.
Because if you go to the west, closer to 4th Street, then it's out of the historic district. So it'd be nice to see a map of the historic district, but it should be out of the historic district. So would a historic design review be needed if it's not in the historic district?
No, it would not. But we would generally still follow our design, guidelines.
Sure, but we won't need Rincon to come in and tell us that it's in a safe spot or anything. I mean, if it's outside of the lines, then, and that's a little flatter surface as you go a little bit farther to the west. It's a safer spot, in my opinion. But yeah, it's funny when I see this because this is a city project, but it's like, do we write a permit to the city from the city, or do we do design review? Does the city pay the city for the design review? And then why does the planning commission and historic resource board have to get involved if it's a city project and it's not in the historic district? I think we're making it a little more difficult than it should be.
Yeah, if the location's moved, outside of the historic district, then it wouldn't need that review. And so, staff can take that feedback and reevaluate, putting it a little bit further, away.
Takes it out of the eye shot of people walking through town. Jose's concerned with integrated waste and they get picky. I don't know how they can get picky. This is our town. If they want to come here and do business, then they do what we tell them. But yeah, I think maybe just reevaluate a little bit, get out, We can get out of the historic district and make things a little easier on everybody. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Okay, thank you. But thank you for bringing this. We needed this big time. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
Light on.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ariel, for the report. So I do also have concerns about the one single receptacle at this time. I understand this is a rollout. You have a deadline to submit and access the funding. I understand that. But my concern at this point is that you have business owners that are on the far end or the south end of Third Street. So then would those business owners then have to push and haul their garbage to Mariposa? Or could they continue with what they're doing now?
So there's multiple options. One is create the design for all three streets, and then we work on construction one at a time as we have available funding. And the main complaints we were receiving from residents was on Mariposa Street. And so that was part of the consideration as a priority, because that's where
Okay.
at least staff was receiving.
Okay, so then we're being sort of pushed to do this because a finite, smaller number of residents have complained. And what exactly are the complaints? Because when I look at Mariposa Street, you have Smoke Point there, which is a restaurant, generates a lot of trash. You have the clock shop that's hardly ever open, doesn't generate a lot of trash. So who's creating the nuisance or the complaints? What are they looking at?
If you want to go to my PowerPoint slide and let me bring up
Okay,
the
okay.
image.
Yeah, because I thought they had
This on two. So
So
this is oh. So this is one of the code complaints that staff has received, but it's not just about a few code complaints. It's looking at what infrastructure and what are the needs of businesses downtown to operate. And so it was trying to look at an alternative solution to solving this particular issue downtown. And again, we don't have to limit it to Mariposa Street. We're just trying to get the conversation started, get the process started.
So I have a question. So then looking at that photo right now, because I just want to understand how this came to light. And I've noticed those all the time and just thought, well, that's the only option. They have to put those in an area, excuse me, where the recology trucks can dump them. So in those two individual, you got a gray and a blue. One of them is for, I'm assuming, landfill, and the blue is recyclables.
Correct.
And so the businesses that are around there, I was just reminded there's more than Smoke Point. Does Mission Cafe, does Margot's, does Daisy's use those?
Yes, so some of the main, I think generally there's about 4 in that area. This picture just shows the 2 bins, but I think mainly it was, at least in that part, Daisy's and Smoke Point. I didn't include it in the presentation, but I did have some more photos of the other streets.
So those businesses then take their smaller trash cans and a staff person goes over there and dumps it into their corresponding dumpsters. And so with the community members, I'm assuming someone around there in that area, maybe not, just don't like the look of those being on that street.
Correct.
Okay. So when they're not, do they get pushed somewhere else and they only put there when the trucks are coming, or they stay there the whole time?
They stay there the whole time because there isn't due to being landlocked, there isn't availability to place them back onto the parcels. And it depends. Some individuals just have the smaller rolling bins, and then some businesses require these larger containers. And so the trash enclosure is really to address those businesses that can't just use a rolling cart and easily move it.
Yeah, I see those right in an area where, one of our high premiums in town is parking space, tourism, whatnot. We have a lot of neighborhoods that have lots of cars, but tourism downtown. So that structure is going to take up a few parking spaces, correct?
Yes, so wherever we build a trash enclosure would take up a couple parking places, and the exact number would be determined depending on the size.
Is there any will or by the city to talk to the property owner that has that vacant cement lot adjacent to those trash bins for a lease option from this property owner?
Staff can work with any of the property owners. It would take a lot more time, and there's no guarantee that any of the property owners would come back approving. And then you would be subject to that contract for all eternity, where having it in a right of way where it's city property essentially, it's up to the city council and the will. That was just staff's consideration.
I mean, it's a good idea. I see where we're going with this, but it just seems really counterproductive to when we come up here and we hear people complain. We all know that there's limited parking downtown. So it just seems really counterproductive to what we're trying to promote and preserve. And then we've got a property owner there that has a chain link fence, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to complain about that. There's always weeds there. So, it's not being used, and we're going to take up probably 2 or 3 parking spaces. That's my input, but thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia?
I like the idea of having something centralized and so what Scott was saying, something that the city owns and controls. I do like the idea of we can cheat ourselves out of the historic district and make the homework a little bit easier. That's good. When we go talk to property owners, if we go talk to property owners, business owners, I'd be curious to get a step count estimate for each business in terms of like we have some sort of equity into how far each business who would need this is walking or having to take trash out. Could be as simple as a Google Maps distance estimate. That's all I had.
Thank you. And to further elaborate on that, uphill versus downhill, some of the businesses on Third will be walk downhill now, as opposed to the businesses that come out the back end on 4th Street. They'll be going all around 4th up to 3rd if we put it closer up to the clock shop. So I'm in favor of putting it down below as well. And they already take up parking spaces, so and they're an eyesore. So to have an enclosure there, we would build out a little bit more for traffic, like a traffic calming, something to get around those.
Yes, so engineering would help with the site design review.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for all of those comments. Public comment?
Sorry, real quick.
Go ahead.
If the council wants to ask staff to talk with property owners, probably one of the better options would be looking at purchasing an easement So then you would have permanent access, if we were to construct. So just food for thought to think over.
Thank you. Public comment.
John Hopper, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Welcome.
Mayor and members of the council. So I've been concerned about that intersection for some period of time. There's a state law and it always, goes fuzzy in my head as to what it actually says, but it's something like daylighting or something so that each intersection has to have clearance that you can see to the right or the left to avoid an accident. There have been some serious accidents, fortunately not recently, at that intersection. 2 of them required tow trucks to come, and haul the vehicles away. So I think Councilmember Frios maybe has the right idea as far as streamlining this to get it outside the historic district. But I'd be interested to know who actually complained about this, because and I don't doubt there maybe have been public complaints, but I think you should hear those and understand whether it's 1 or 2 people or a whole town complaining. My perception is that this issue was created by city code enforcement. City code enforcement contacted business owners saying, you can't do this, so get it out of there. And that created a big upheaval. And then the good people and city staff had to deal with it. And so they come up with this proposition. So we may have created our own problem here. The other thing I think that city staff should look into is when the Posada was approved during my ancient time period, that lot there that's in question was supposed to be given to the city in lieu for parking. Or they bought that property, and I'm all fuzzy on that. It's been a long time since I sat up there. But having said that, I mean, you guys should research that. I mean, there's a reason that property was set aside. And then lastly, the other concern I have is that you need to do this equitably. I mean, we heard a passionate young man up here complaining about fences and what have you. And that's going to create a right-of-way obstruction and a possible traffic survey. And I agree with the mayor, there's already cans there. So if it's a couple of parking spots, and I respect what you're saying about the festivals and what have you, but are we really creating a problem ourselves that's maybe not even a problem? Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments?
No other speaker cards received, and seeing no hands raised on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Back to the council. Councilmember Aranda.
No, other than John had brought up some good points, so maybe that's something to look into. Other than that, no questions or comments. Thank you again. I like that it's free 99.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
Yeah.
I got him.
Okay. I am also now that Mr. Is it Hopper? Mr. Hop? Yeah, your point being, I know we can't have back and forth, but it just kind of realized, okay, yeah, it's already taking up parking space too. But you have a good point about the visibility at that intersection, because any given, especially weekends, it's really hard to get onto 4th Street from any of the other streets when there's so much traffic, and where that, I understand you want it away from the historic district, further down towards 4th, but then it's further down towards an intersection and maybe create a visibility issue. And then I'm thinking, why not put it up against the clock building against the one wall, and it would just kind of blend into that wooden structure anyway, if we had to have this. And I agree, are we creating a problem that doesn't really exist? And we have to be equitable, and I don't want to say that. Yeah, there's a lot to consider, but we also have a clock ticking for the funding.
And if I can just get a clarification, and I apologize for the back and forth, were you talking about, if you could come to the podium for 1 second, were we talking about Mariposa and 3rd or Mariposa and 4th for the accidents?
Mariposa and 4th.
Thank
Mayor.
you. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
I've just been to, I don't know how many dumpster fires in my career, and I don't think we need a dumpster fire right next to
Literally,
historic
not figuratively.
common wall
Yeah.
downtown.
Thank you.
That made me a little nervous,
Uh,
because then we'd have to put fire sprinklers in there, and then and then we've got historic reviews and yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia.
No further questions or comments.
Thank you. I don't either. Thank you all for the questions, comments, concerns. There is a resolution before us to approve selecting Mariposa as the preferred location for a shared downtown trash recycling and organics enclosure, authorizing staff to complete stakeholder outreach, historic site and design review planning, commission review, building permits, and other required approvals, authorizing expenditure not to exceed $100,000 from eligible non-general fund solid waste and grant revenues, and authorizing the city manager to execute contracts necessary for project design and construction, subject to all required approvals and available funding. I heard a couple of amendments to that. One to bring it down. I don't even know how to amend. So if anybody wants to amend, have at your bad selves.
Just look at the site closer to 4th Street, but within that new law that, we can only have, I believe it's like 25 feet from the intersection through it, something like that. So, but that's a long stretch right through there where that parking lot is. So it could be somewhere anywhere within that safe area and still be outside of the historic district.
That would be the amendment to move. Well, I guess, I don't know, because we already talked about it being on Mariposa, so it's just a matter of where.
Were we going, pardon me, Madam Mayor, were we going to include instructions, maybe it's already inferred in that outreach, to possibly look at a conversation with the lot owner, and then someone said purchasing easement to put that a little bit further back off the street? Is that going to be part of the amendment or not?
Is that part, all part of authorizing staff to complete stakeholder outreach, historic site and design review, planning commission review, building permits, and all that other stuff? That's already included in all of that, correct? Correct?
So that would be not just talking to the garbage proper business owner dumpies, it would be also talking to the vacant lot owner.
All stakeholders. Yes, authorizing staff to complete stakeholder outreach.
It would be good. I'm writing that down, but as we consider final design, we'll have discussions with property owners, and we'll look at sites outside of the historic district.
No, as amended, as stated. May I have a first?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia, seconded by Councilmember Aranda. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda?
Yes.
Councilmember Frios?
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia?
Yes.
Mayor Jordan?
Yes.
Motion carried as amended.
Thank you.
Thank
you. 7B, appointment of representative to the Regional Agency Governance and Franchise Review Ad Hoc Committee. City Manager.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Members of the council, Integrated Waste would like to form a committee to look at negotiations for new franchise agreement and also the governance structure of the Integrated Waste Committee. So we've had a lot of back and forth outside of the councils, kind of like interdepartmentally, and we've kind of landed on staff being more involved in that process, just to kind of take the pressure off of the council And then I'm taking lots of copious notes. I've heard all the public comment tonight on fees, and to be able to bring that back. One of the issues is in terms of what the process will look like to find a hauler, whether that will be Recology or another hauler. All of those issues and will come to light, and so it will be nice to be involved in that process if that is your will.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Aranda.
No questions or comments, but I like the idea.
Thank you. Councilmember Frales.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
No questions, but I agree with this move. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia.
No questions or comments.
Thank you. The only comment I have is that franchise agreements and negotiating contracts should be set with our city manager and staff.
Public comment?
Thank you very much for that word.
No speaker cards received, and seeing no hands raised on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Aranda? Anything further?
No, other than so moved.
Councilmember Morris Lopez?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia?
No.
Thank you. May I have a motion to appoint the city manager and planning manager as the city of San Juan Bautista's two representatives, et cetera?
So
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Councilmember Aranda, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
yes.
Councilmember Frios,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Congratulations. Careful what you wish for. 7C, Historic Resources Board Planning Commission vacancy. Consider the recommendation of the City Council Ad Hoc Committee and appoint two applicants to the Planning Commission Historic Resources Board. One to fill the unexpired term ending December 2026, and one to fill the unexpired term ending December 2028. Receive recommendation from the Ad Hoc Committee. Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia, take it away.
If I may. So one of the things in our wrap up and discussion after 4 interviews that were conducted, we had sent 6 invitations for interviews. 4 of the 6 responded with accepting meeting invites for those interviews. Of the 4 people we interviewed, over the times that we've been doing this, and I've been doing it with others, this group of 4 people, not individually, but collectively, we were very impressed by this group of 4 folks. And it was a really hard, afterwards discussion of we got to pick 2. And then it was only sated by the fact that, hey, in December and in January, we'll have some more seats coming up. But it was just really great to see this type of response and this type of the caliber and passion that these folks all showed coming forth for these interviews. It was really good. It was a late night for us last night doing this, but it didn't feel like a lot of work. So that was the how I wanted to open with this recommendation. And so I guess for the first recommendation for
And all of the council members received the individual applications for all of those who applied. So carry on.
Yep.
Thank you.
So for the term ending in December 2026, the candidate that we would like to recommend is Nick Leggett. Do we want to go for both of them, or do we want to vote on these individually?
So
have questions.
Yeah, if any of the council have questions on the choices, and are we going with both right now and then have a discussion on what the council as a whole thinks of?
Yes, if the ad hoc committee can make both of their recommendations.
Okay. And then if you have any questions at all on why we chose the way we chose and who we chose, we'd be more than happy to answer those questions.
Yep. And the second recommendation for the term ending in December 2028 is Stephanie Correa. Correa.
Korea. We also had Shirley Brewer and Mikolai Attenberg who interviewed, who were, again, absolutely phenomenal. And I cannot wait to see them on the board in January, especially in light of some of the comments that were presented during these interviews. I think all of them are amazing candidates, and all of them will make great board commissioners. So with that, any questions, comments, concerns from the council? Councilmember Aranda.
No, I think this is good. I was reviewing the applicants, and I like it. I mean, the only thing, obviously, I don't know what questions you guys would ask, but my biggest concern, especially that I see in this town and when it comes to a lot of these committees, is that there's always some kind of biasness or some kind of agenda tied to it. So as long as these guys are neutral and understand that and they don't side a certain way, I'm okay with it. And that's my biggest concern that I have, is that just do what's best for this town and not what you think, or you lean a certain way.
Yep. So one of the first things I can say, and I'm going to keep saying this over and over again, these four folks could be a great commission amongst themselves. They would have great discussions, and one of the things that's really stood out, and it was kind of universal, I don't think it was prompted in our questions, which we can provide, was, when folks were asked, one of the first questions we asked is, what do you see as the primary job of planning commissioners, historic resource board members? And the first thing is about protecting the town and, the integrity of our historic nature, small town, doing what's best for the town. Now, folks will always have different opinions about what that means, but that sentiment really grounded all four of these candidates.
Yeah, it was a whole thing, protecting the past and the historic nature of our city, and protecting our future. That was resonated through all four applicants.
Then that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Friels.
I'm happy with the selection. I'm happy that when I got up this morning, I opened up my email and saw the applications. I didn't know that we had those on the email, so thankfully I looked. And also hearing that we have two more strong candidates, because we'll have another opening coming up, right?
Yep.
So that's good. It's nice. Thank you for all of you who applied. And it's, the planning commission it's rewarding, and it's very difficult at times. So sometimes I think this job is a cakewalk compared to my 4 years on the planning commission. So thank you for understanding how tough it's going to be, and thank you for doing the interviews. Appreciate it.
And we are holding over all of the applicants for the next go around. So whomever is not chosen tonight will be thrown in. Hopefully they, I did not say that. Fortunately, your microphone's off. Hopefully these, all four of them, whomever is not chosen tonight will keep their application in, because we firmly believe that these four people make a great commission. Sorry, having said that, Councilmember Morris Lopez.
Yes, thank you. So I did read the applications and the qualifications. So I know Ms. Correa, I'm impressed with her application and her education and her history. She's a local person, understands the history, all of that of the town. I'm happy that she was chosen this go around for a long term. Can you speak a little bit to Nick Leggett? I think that was one that popped out with, is he not in construction?
Correct. He's the gentleman who is in construction. The array of folks that we had the pleasure to interview were very diverse. New residents, members who had been here for a really long time, new perspective. This is weird because it was a new perspective on every voice was saying the same thing, regardless of who we interviewed. They all had, again, protecting the past and protecting our future.
Okay. And so what was your final decision to choose this gentleman? I think, it's nice to have a balance. When I read the applications, there was, and it sounds like everybody at the end with the actual interview in person, the 4 out of 6, right? So 2 people did not interview?
Correct. One person pulled their application, and another person just never responded.
Okay. So then that left 4 with these 2 being chosen. So what made you go with these 2? Because you said all of them were great.
Do you want to go with that one?
Yep, I get it.
You go.
I was the one of the primary or more primary note taker. Got it all. One of the couple of things that I liked about Mr. Leggett, number one, like his background in construction, working in kind of the union slash what he described as the more political side of the construction job, volunteerism being big in his family and upbringing. Looking to one of the things he spoke about pretty concisely was his role in that union and political part of the construction job was protecting the jobs and the livelihood and well-being of the folks who he represents, and that attitude of looking through that job description and that responsibility through that lens really resonated with us.
And he does sit on a state and federal board, so he is accustomed to the dais.
And he's also the gentleman that's here just about every meeting too. He sits at the back.
Yes, he sits in the
watches just about every meeting.
corner.
Funny he's not here today.
I know. I keep looking over there. Where are you? More often than not, you see him in the far left seat.
He talked a lot also about one of our questions, and you're familiar with it. You helped me write the original question document that we've been using. Our questions around dealing with differing personalities or disagreements. And one of his comments was like he doesn't like things to go back and forth. He doesn't allow himself to be drawn into those kinds of things. He takes the attitude of really trying to listen and understand of what that other person's perspective is, makes his counter. But one of the things he stood by is that on the dais, he doesn't going multiple rounds of back and forth of that. It's not productive. And that resonated with me as well.
And the other candidate?
Other 2.
There was 2.
One had an engineering background, and Miss Shirley called me out. I sent the email, sent the text message. Who are you? But it was the other 2 candidates were also great.
Yeah, your 2 choices. You're making recommendations.
Oh, she's
So
asking
the way this process goes is that
Okay.
you eliminated the other 2, right?
Yep.
So our choice is to accept your recommendation.
Yep.
We cannot add our own because we've read all of the applications. So I'm just following the process. So I want to know why you chose these 2, because you said they were all great.
Mhm.
So I understand about Mr. Leggett. He has a strong union background. He sounds probably a negotiator, listens to all sides, heavy in construction. That's great. So he probably would understand reading these plans that come before us. When I was on the planning commission, I had to learn, about all this stuff. So he already comes with that knowledge base. Hopefully he's about, that's a solid background. So your other choice that you strongly recommended was?
Stephanie Correa.
So she's also got a strong background professionally that we thought could be useful
Mhm.
in reviewing and assessing, plans for homes.
A lot of historic background.
So
Uh,
nice balance.
This group was amazing, and that's not to discount anything that Shirley Brewer brought to the table, who has sat on the planning commission before and has amazing ideas, and we really like her and hope that she keeps her application in for the next go around. Having already had this experience, Mikolai Attenberg was the fourth person, and he has permitting permitting background and if he also has some government background as well. But we chose these two to staff the first round, having a new resident and a longtime resident, and the skills that they brought. If we could fill all four, we would. No offense to our commission, who I think are fabulous. So again, it is up to the council to decide to either go with to choose anyone that they so wish. So with that, what? We're not there yet. Just we haven't even gotten to the whole council yet. Oh, I guess we have. So do you have any further questions?
No further questions, but I think I heard you say we can choose aside from the people you nominated.
So the ad hoc committee makes recommendations to the council. Kind of like everything that we go through on every meeting. The staff makes a recommendation and the council can say yay or nay. You're on the committee. You don't have anything else to say at this moment, do you? Thank you. Do we have any public comment?
No speaker cards received, and seeing no hands raised on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Back to the council. Anything further from the council? Councilmember Aranda.
Other than great job. I would say I personally know Stephanie Correa, and I think she is a fabulous member of this community. I see her volunteering. I see her all the time and involved. So I think it would be great to have her serve as a planning commissioner. And then as for Nick, I mean, it sounds great, and so I'm all in favor. So thank you.
Councilmember Friels. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
Thank you for doing this. It's been a long time waiting for this to happen. And congratulations to all the applicants. I really want to say strongly urge anyone that did not get chosen tonight, please reach out to them, whether it's this ad hoc committee or a new one. Keep them engaged.
Yeah, again, I'm hoping they're keeping their applications in, and we explained that to everybody we interviewed. Anything else? Thank you. So if somebody would like to make a motion
So moved.
for Nick as December 2026 and Stephanie as 2028.
I'll second it. Yeah.
Thank you. Motion made by Councilmember Aranda, seconded by Councilmember Friels. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Friels,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes, thank you.
Motion carried to accept the ad hoc committee's recommendation.
Woo. About time.
That was the fastest that that process has ever gone. Informational items and reports. Reports from city council representatives to their regional organizations and committees. Councilmember Aranda.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch our AMBAG meeting. My grandma passed away recently, so I was dealing with that. I believe I did attend an integrated waste meeting, and it led to creating the ad hoc committee here today and discussing the 0.5 increase for the trash and what other thing. And I spent some time at the San Benito Health Clinic, giving out food and whatnot with Zolofren. I think some of our supervisors, Kosmicki was out there, and I forget what other city officials were there, but it was really great to spend some time doing that. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Friels.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
We were dark in July, so nothing to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia.
I attended a lunch snack session with Senator Laird and the waste management folks. That was, the Green Business Association group. So that was fun. There was a lot of ideas thrown back and forth. And just kind of like a little bit of a support and update for what's going on and what's happening. So nothing major to report out of there, other than I didn't know they were going to post my photo in some newspaper, but I didn't get out of there before the photos got taken, unfortunately. And then secondly, attended the regional wastewater planning meeting to talk about the details and status of the A-Drop project that we are a part of through them. What was the second project? There.
Oh, the raising of the dam.
Yes, they want to raise the walls of the dam. It was real hard not to go, and in fact, I failed at this. I started looking at images of the dam being like 40% full, as they're talking about raising the capacity of it right now. So we hopefully we need it, but they're talking about raising the. That's going to be that'll be in a something we do with Santa Clara County if it's done. It's something like it's a lot of millions of tens of millions, hundreds of
Thousands.
tens of it's a lot of money. Yeah.
Is it San Luis? Yeah, San Luis. I'm sorry, I thought you said San Justo. Yeah, San Luis, the San Luis Reservoir. And there's already a movement to raise it 10 feet, and they want to do it another 10 feet.
That's what it is. They started, but they're trying to get it. So it's an additional hundreds of millions on top of what's already happening to try to get the extra on there. I think that was all that happened in that meeting. 4 of the 5 A-Drop wells reported good results in terms of water retention and all that. So those are planned to go live. The 5th one is being held in reserve, but that 5th one was the one that didn't test so well. It's being held in reserve. So we feel better about spending $20 million or whatever it was to test them all. But yeah, that was all.
I also attended that meeting, and so did our city manager, and we were the only jurisdiction that had everyone who attends the governance committee meetings in attendance. So that was super nice to see.
One county representative, Hollister elected showed.
Right. And there are other entities on the governance committee as well. I attended the LAFCO meeting. During public comment, one of the coolest things to me was that a gentleman came before the commission to ask about becoming a special district, and there have been many a discussion on whether special districts should come in. So I'm very much looking forward to this moving forward. Our executive officer reached out to him, and they'll discuss the particulars of that and bring it back to a commission meeting near us soon. A couple of other items that were heard was San Bautista's municipal services review and the City of Hollister's municipal services review. These had been reviewed and commented upon by our city staff, and comments were sent back to the executive officer and her staff. It went to public review and comment. Those comments were sent back to our executive officer and staff, and it was brought back to the LAFCO Commission, where eventually we accepted and adopted the written determinations in the municipal services review. And that's all we accepted or approved. That's what the directive was, to approve the written determinations in the municipal services review. The other thing that we heard was an annexation by Toro Petroleum. It is an island in the city of Hollister. It's a county island that receives services, water in particular, from the city of Hollister. This met every criteria. It was nice to see that a project actually came before LAFCO, a project that LAFCO is all about, getting rid of islands and annexations of said islands. One of our commissioners asked that that our commission consider the resolution to be tabled and sent back to the Board of Supervisors for discussion. Their job was to come back in at the next meeting to provide comment. It was heard on the Board of Supervisors last meeting on June 30th. They were to provide comment back to the commission. They did not. So with a 4-0 vote, the Toro Petroleum was annexed into the city of Hollister. It met every San Benito County LAFCO policy. It met all of the policies and criteria for city annexations, and it met every unincorporated island policy. So it was really cool to have this come before us. And Water Resources Association, we talked again about turf removals, toilet exchanges, and softener exchanges, and the monies associated with that. So if anybody has an old toilet, a water softener that they want to get rid of, or turf that they want to get rid of, call San Benito County Water District. Those are all the meetings I attended. City council announcements. This is the opportunity for the council to share the community calendar and upcoming dates of interest. Councilmember Aranda.
Yes, I got a few. It should be an exciting time here in San Juan. So this Saturday we have Play Music on the Porch Day. I think we started this about two years ago, maybe 3. I might be wrong. And it's turned out to be really cool. It's been growing. I think this year there's going to be 16 homes that are going to be hosting. I'll be hosting one of the, like as always, I host the first band. So I look forward to see the community in front of my home playing. I I think it's a mariachi this time that's going to be in front of my home. So it's exciting. A lot of people come out on golf carts, bicycles, and then they just keep hopping over to the next stop. There's a map. We even have a website now that's live that you can access. So it's really cool. So check that out. It's this Saturday starting. I wish I could. Let me see if I can pull it up. Sorry, guys. I think it starts at 11 a.m. Check it out. I look forward to seeing everyone. I'll have snacks out there. And then also we have our free movies in the park night every Saturday going on till September 12th. Really cool movies going on. I know Lilo and Stitch just played, and I think this week it's going to be the Hoppers. Looking forward to seeing everyone there. Please come out, check it out. It's always a great time out there in the park, and just to get that, just to be out there and see that going. And then there is Frolic and Revel being hosted, I think, by the SJV Business Association, September 19th through October 24th. They're doing something Saturdays from 5 to 8 p.m. So come check them out. Encourages people to get out into the downtown district. So those are the 3 items I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Friels.
Yeah, I'll add one to the music on the porch. For some reason, the Native Daughters weren't included this year, but they will have music at about 10:30, and it'll be early Californian style music. Some musicians out of Monterey. And then football season's upon us, so if you really want to have fun, once regular season kicks in, go to the VFW. There's always a potluck, and it's a nice local pub, and they do have 2 screens. The 49ers normally play in the pub, and then the Raider fans have to be out in the back somewhere. I'm just kidding. I'm not a Niner fan, so it doesn't really matter to me. So, but yeah, it's a good time, and it supports our VFW. So thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
To mention, Scott, that they have heavy pour at the VFW.
Yeah, the
They gotta-
cheapest drinks in town, and yeah,
I got to buy an extra.
they make you happy.
So, so anyway, my announcement is not as fun. It's actually, I sit on the San Benito COG, which is the committee that has to do with all things transportation in the county. And so our executive director, Banu Abrams, asked me to announce tonight they're looking for community membership representation on the Measure G committee, which was the approved in November 6th of 2018 for funding to Measure G funding. It was passed by 69% by the county. So they need representation. They need someone in the education field, someone from the Latinx community. And I have some other groups that she said that she would like. Senior disabled community education, please help fill these vacancies. They are open now. So contact the San Benito County COG if you know of anybody or you yourself are inclined to volunteer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for that. I forgot about that one. Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia.
I don't have any announcements. Thank you.
Thanks. I just want to reiterate movie night. It's fabulous to see all the little kids playing in the infield and all the grown-ups sitting on the other side of the fence watching the movies. It's pretty darn awesome. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Wait, what? What? Oh, right. We're going back to closed session. I forgot. Thank you for that. So we are going to adjourn to closed session, and then after that, we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you. What kind of snacks are you having?
What's that?
What kind of snacks are you having on Saturday?
I usually bring up like chips and cookies,
No.
and then I'll do sodas and water.